Hello, friends. It's Sarah Ford with Warming Up with Sincerely Sarah. Today, well, every day is special, but today is especially special because today I have the pleasure of interviewing my best friend, Angela Burnett, who is also a superstar director. Thank you, Angela, for joining today and agreeing to do an interview with me on my channel.
Of course. You've been meaning to do it for a while.
Yes, we have. So, I started this channel like over a year ago, and it's kind of like, I think Angela was thinking like, am I ever gonna get to be on the channel?
I knew it.
So today's the day.
Today is the day.
Just a forewarning, there could be children involved. So, that's kind of how it works. When you're a work-at-home mom and you take care of little kids, that's just kind of the way that it goes. So also, before we get started, I like to tell my guests that the income disclosure will be listed in the comment or in the description. But if I could talk today, so you are free to share whatever you want to share. So Angela and I became friends. I like to give a little bit of a backstory, but Angela and I became friends, I don't even know, a long time ago. And we just somehow hit it off and we decided that we were best friends forever. And so here we are. Both we became friends when I think I was a director and she was a superstar consultant. And we've been friends ever since, and now here we both are as superstar directors. So Angela, I would love for you to share with everyone basically the beginning of your story. How did you find Scentsy and what kind of motivated you to join?
I joined in August 1st, 2014. And I didn't have a warmer. My only experience with Scentsy was a friend from high school was posting monthly that she had samples available. So one month I was like, sure, I'll try it. I had those little burners with candle, try the sample. Blake's yelling at me through the glass. And it was awesome. Really, really awesome. Like that one little sample was way better than any candle I've ever used. So she sent me a few more samples and we talked about hosting a party. She lived in Indiana and I was in Florida. And I agreed to host a party. I was like, sure, let's do it. So she sends me a catalog and I start looking at all the things. And about a week or so before my party was scheduled, she asked, had I ever considered joining? And at that time, no, the answer was absolutely I had not. I didn't even know what Scentsy was. How would I consider joining, So as soon as she said it, then I was like, well, no, of course not. And then I was like, well, maybe. And I couldn't stop thinking about it. So then she was telling me about transition kit in August. And I was like, okay, I'll just do it. I didn't even have a party. I was just like, I'll just do it. Why not? I had a little kid. She was 2 years old. New to a state, not good at making friends on my own, turned out. We'd lived in Florida for a year. So like I said, I had a little kid. So we weren't like doing school things or any of that. So I was like, well, I can join and then this will give me a reason to put myself out there, a reason to meet people. So like me not knowing anybody was not a reason why I didn't join. It was a reason why I did. So it worked out. I had my few friends from Indiana and my few family members that helped me with my launch or whatever. But from there on, it was building.
So what did you do to meet new people?
The very first thing I did was I posted a balloon pop game in a yard sale group.
Okay.
And literally hundreds of people commented on the post. I was blown away. overwhelmed. I spent that whole day messaging people, and I got probably 20 parties booked, home parties for
Wow.
that first fall.
Mhm.
And yeah, I pretty much just stemmed from that one post and meeting people through those parties and things like that. So it was really cool. I was not at all expecting something like that to bring so much. Like,
That's
it was
pretty
great.
awesome.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
wasn't even like, I didn't know about Facebook. I wasn't even intentional with like what group I posted in. Like, I didn't post in the one with the most members or anything. I was just like, this one doesn't say I can't, so I'm going to choose this one.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it was really great.
So I would venture to say that probably more groups say you can't now than back.
Yes.
However,
Almost
years
8 years
ago.
ago. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
So at what point did you, so, okay, so you started having parties with those people. Did all 20 of those parties actually happen?
Almost all of them, yes.
Okay. And
Mhm.
did those people continue to purchase from you? Did any of them join your team? What did that look like after you initially did that?
My very first party I ever did was a home party, and I forgot to ask about joining. And at the end, the girl was like, "So can you tell me about joining?" And I was like,
Okay.
"Sure." Yeah, I was supposed to mention that a while ago. So she didn't end up joining, but she did. She was a customer for a while. And then Sybil was one of those people who joined in my first year. She's one of my directors. I probably had 3 or 4 of those people join. A couple were reinstatements, and then they had people join with them. So that worked out good.
Yeah,
Yeah, a few of them are still consultants on my team. So
that's amazing.
yeah.
So, a bird, I just started. Wow. Okay.
A bird.
So you would ask your hosts, if they wanted to join.
Mhm.
Is that kind of what started your growth within the company in terms of your team growing? Or was
Yeah.
there another strategy or another way that you kind of started to grow?
It was pretty much all from parties. So not always the host, but somebody from the host would host a party, and then they would join. And then usually after they joined, the other host would join under them or something like that. Like,
Okay.
almost always, if I talked to a host about it and the host had a very successful party, they joined. Almost always.
Okay.
So yeah. And that was before we had joint specials. So it was $99 kit no matter what, pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So now, if you don't know, you can join a lot of different ways. Right now we have a regular $99 kit. We also have a $299 kit that includes an air purifier, which is a value of $250. And we also have a host join kit. So what that means is you can host a party, and if you host a party and it has at least $200 in sales, you can use your credit. Instead of using it towards product, you can use your credit towards getting a $59 kit, which is a little bit smaller but has all the essential things that you need. So that's what she means by specials. And sometimes we run host specials for like 20 or $25. And so that's usually like once a year. So, anyways, moving backwards. So you now have 3 children.
yeah.
So how has that changed what you do, or has it not changed what you do? What does that look like when you started having more?
It definitely changed what I do. I had a lot more time with Brianna. She was my easy kid. She was the helper. She was always so easy. So I could literally do anything and she would be perfectly content. So I started with her, and I had a lot more time to build at that point. So it was easier to do home parties. I took her with me to a bunch of home parties. If Bill was working, I just took it with me.
Yeah.
Coloring book. She was good. I could never take these boys with me. So that worked out well for me. But yeah, I got pregnant with Bryce. That was a difficult pregnancy. And right after I delivered to him, I promoted to director. So I promoted really fast my first fall. I double promoted from lead to superstar in 1 month. And then I was a superstar director for a couple of years.
Superstar consultant.
Yes, sorry, superstar consultant. For a couple of years. I almost promoted so many times, and that's how me and Sarah met. But that's consistency and growth. So that's what needed to happen before it was my time. So yeah.
Uh-oh, hold on.
Then
what? Make it quick.
So, so what's listening and stylist at school?
Okay, right now is not the time for that. I love you. They have school right now and you don't. Okay. Because they do. All right, look, I'm doing a video. Say hi and then go back.
No.
Okay. Don't say hi.
Nope.
Sit up in the chair and be quiet if you want to. So, okay, anyways,
Mhm.
go ahead. So, change your time. So how did that change what you did?
My movie is over.
Okay,
I don't know if it changed what I did necessarily, as
Over because
I enjoyed the role.
the one thing that's
I told you guys, kids. Your movie's over?
yeah, the
Okay.
one thing that's beating that star.
He did?
Yeah, because it has
You're silly.
and then he does go
Oh.
and then he smacked it down on the floor.
All right, here. Take your little fish. Go in there. Go see if any of your cars have sold yet. Oh no. Okay. Go to see if any cars have sold yet in the living room.
Like that part too. So I don't know if it changed necessarily, but I enjoyed the role more. I enjoyed watching team members grow. I enjoyed seeing people having as much fun as I was, and you know, knowing that it's not necessarily about money as much as it's about relationships. Like I joined to make friends.
Mhm.
Money is awesome, but I didn't join to make friends in Scentsy. I never considered that at all. I was like trying to meet local friends, but the true relationships come in the company. So
Yeah.
turned out to be way
Well,
better.
and I can't say how many times I've built really good, strong, supportive relationships with customers who I would have never met
Mhm.
had somebody not had a party, and passed around a basket. And so, now that we are in a different place than we were even last year, that's something that I want to bring back. I want people to pass that basket around so that I can meet new people and enjoy that. And that's something that I wasn't looking for, of course, and didn't know that I needed when I started, but it's really helped because, I moved here a few years before I joined Scentsy and I didn't know a whole lot of people, and it's really helped me to build a sense of community. And I'm sure that that's been the same for you. I mean, you've moved several times since you've lived just in Florida.
Yep.
So can you talk a little bit about too, like how did moving from one community in Florida to another and then to another change the dynamics of your business, either making it hard or making it better?
It was harder. Luckily, I had built a strong customer base in Winter Haven before we had moved. And I still made a point to go back there like once a month, as often as I could, just to help them out with shipping sometimes, So it was hard. I was in a much larger community when we moved to West Palm. So there were, I mean, way more people. So it was hard to figure things out, I guess. Like,
And the dynamics of that community were very different.
yes,
So
completely.
your tactics, if that's what we want to call them, your strategies,
Mhm.
you're used to doing, you know, posting in a garage sale site is probably not going to work in West Palm Beach.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I did comment on a post like about samples, free samples sending out. I had 10 or something. I was like, I have 15 samples. So I did that on one of them. And then I would go to Starbucks in Target, Starbucks inside of Target, and I'd sit there for a few hours and work. And people, I gained a lot of customers that way too.
Okay.
So I do that like once every 2 weeks, once a month, always at least once a month. Sometimes I try to go every 2 weeks, but sometimes that didn't work out. But it was good. It was, people were always be like, what are you doing over here? Oh yeah, I needed a consultant. And a few of them I never heard from again, but you know, that's just how it works.
Of course. And then you moved again.
Yes,
To
Fort
Fort
Myers.
Myers.
By our family, yes.
A whole other
was,
dynamic in Fort Myers, where you're going probably from some like upper class to upper class, working class families to, I mean, of course, there's every dynamic of people everywhere, but then you go to Fort Myers, which is probably a lot of elderly people who are not working, who are, you know, living their best life in their last days, years, whatever it may be, you know. And so, but you have, now that you have 3 kids and they've started activities, I know that you're doing other things and different things. So would you mind sharing a little bit about what you're doing now? Go ahead.
Okay. So Fort Myers is where we will be. This is where we'll be. This is where we wanted to be when we moved here. So it just took years to get to where we needed to be with jobs and stuff. So I know that this customer base will be permanent. So I do more events. I set up at the kids' gymnastics once every 6 weeks, probably. I try to do markets if they're not at a shopping center, which is hard around here. Most of them are in the parking lots of shopping centers. So finding them at parks is great. And yeah, I just try to get myself seen. I put my information on community boards and Joanne Fabrics or at gymnastics, local places like that have boards with business cards and stuff like that. So yeah, I just do things to try to, I've joined all the moms groups in every city I've been in. Those have been critical to learning cities, learning where I can share my business with others and things like that. So, yeah, always, I always join moms groups, all of them, as many as I can find. Really.
I literally haven't ever joined a mom group in my town. I mean, I started one for my neighborhood, mostly because we all have kids that are like exactly the same age.
Yeah,
it's so weird. And so yeah, I mean, like, I can't tell you how many 4-year-old boys there are in this neighborhood.
That's good.
So I mean, so yeah, so I wanted to try to kind of connect with some of those parents just in general, and that has turned into some customers. So I want to kind of talk now a little bit about, I mean, I went a little further than I probably normally would, but I wanted to kind of show what that looks like when you move and when you have seasons of life change. You know, you go from 1 kid to 2 kids, from 2 kids to 3 kids, and what that looks like and how it changes you, your time, and all of that. But that doesn't mean that you throw in the towel and say, well, I don't have time now. I can't do it anymore. But I want to talk about the impact. So you obviously have made friends, me, and that's all you really need.
Most important.
But, you've made lots of friends within the company, which is, we both know and could speak for hours probably just about, how much that changes for you. The empowerment and just the energy that comes with the people who all are working towards the same goal, and Angela and I do a lot of things together with our groups and just each other. I mean, there's very rarely is there a day that we don't talk to each other. And if we do, we're like, how did I not talk to you at all yesterday? So it's really important that we have made some connections within our community of Scentsy. But in terms of outside of the friendships, which is why you joined, why have you continued to do what you're doing? I know you love to watch your team grow and be successful as well, but what are some of the benefits that it's brought to your life and to your family?
The freedom to work when I can. My business has always been part-time based around my family. It's always come second and been an excellent second that makes me happy. It brings me joy. It de-stresses me. When some people think owning a business is stressful, this takes the stress from my life. The kids can help. They like to help. They know they were born and raised in this pretty much. So they know what we do. They know. Like I can take Brianna to an event and she's going to sell some things to some people. So we know we do it together. And if I can't do it, then I don't. If I am busy that day with my kids, if they are sick, if I have something going on, then I don't work and I don't feel bad about it. Because this business works around my life. And it took me 7 years to promote to superstar director because it's kind of a part-time thing that works when I want it to work. I work every month, obviously, but sometimes that's at midnight on my phone. And sometimes that can be for 4 hours during the day. I might get 4 hours during the day on Monday and no other time again till Thursday to do real sit down at my desk work. But the beauty of the business is that I can do team stuff. I can do customer stuff from my phone in between cooking 12 meals a day. So
12 meals a day, because you have to make 4 separate meals.
Bryce eats 75 times a day, I swear.
Oh yeah.
So he tells me he's hungry perpetually.
I'm hungry. He'll say, we were literally eating dinner last night. He was like, Mom, what's for dinner?
Bryce does the same. After he gets home from school, he's like, I want something cooked. A snack is not good enough after
literally
school.
Are eating
dinner number one after school. And then I have to cut him off because he'll just eat until dinner if I let him. So
yeah. And he can't have a snack because a snack isn't real food.
It's worthless. Okay.
An apple, not real food. I said an apple is what
Tell
makes
Daddy.
it wrong.
You gotta wait just a little bit.
What, Brantley? Okay, you sit in here and be quiet.
Are they sending signals to each other when to interrupt?
Apparently.
Like standing there with a container of strawberries at the glass window.
Well, we were talking about food.
Oh.
He put on a different shirt.
Oh, I see.
What do you think has been your highest high? Like, what's the moment that you were like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is real. This is what I'm doing. We went to Disney World.
Yep. That was pretty cool.
Really fun. Thanks for bringing that up.
We've been to Disney World and Disneyland together.
That's true. Absolutely.
So I think that the highest was I think that the highest was promoting to director, honestly, because that is really the spot where you're like, okay, I had to have big numbers to get here. I had to have a good group of people who are working actively. I had to have helped all these people
Mhm.
feel like they could be business owners too. So that was like the biggest one for me. Superstar Director was incredible, obviously. It was
Yeah.
just a little bit more surreal to like feel it, you know what I mean? And the responsibility level is completely different and more, but not in a overwhelming type of way all the time, I guess.
Yeah.
It feels different for sure, but I think that that promotion to director was the biggest. Like, I'm not going anywhere. This is where I belong.
Mhm.
This is my job now. So
Yeah.
just it.
Well, I mean, when we hit director, you know, it's the first big thing
Mhm.
that you do.
Yeah.
And sometimes it takes a while to even maintain that for a while because it is so big and it's such a big jump from the step before that.
Mhm.
And so I remember, you know, just hitting those numbers, and it was Halloween and I was walking around with my nieces and nephews.
Yep.
Texting my team, trying to figure out if somebody else was gonna put in another order or what was going to happen and how was it going to happen. And I knew it was going to happen, but I just wasn't sure when. And I remember that moment, you know, same with Superstar Director, you know, I was in the car with my mom and I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this just happened.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, but then that happens and you realize that this is what you're doing with your life, and it is surreal, you know.
Yeah.
It's a moment that,
Right.
you know,
You go to your first SFR as a director, you really realize what a huge accomplishment it is to get there and what a small percentage of people are actually doing it. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
absolutely, for sure. So you talked a little bit about, I'm gonna pull up my questions just so I don't forget anything because I've bounced around a lot.
Mhm.
Um
I got Papa, Mommy. There's Scentsy everywhere.
you gotta. Okay, well, let's just keep it on the paper, okay?
I love moments as moms.
Yeah, those moms be like, I gotta make
What are you
sure
doing?
that we're using what we're given to you and nothing else.
You're doing
Um,
what?
So, yes, my next big question is when they're, well, okay, let me ask this, and then this will be a two-part question. So when you're feeling maybe, or when you're having a challenge, like what is a challenge that you've really had to overcome? Brantley, stop. And then what has kept you going?
I think my biggest challenge has been focusing and remembering to still work my personal business more than I focus on my team, because I can get myself wrapped up in that very easily. And I have to remember that I still have to grow my business, most importantly, first and foremost.
Yeah.
It's an independent business. So yes, having an upline that is supportive is incredible and helpful to your growth, but it is not necessary for your growth. So I always have to remember that our teams,
100.
Yeah.
our teams have always been blessed with having supportive, giving team members, upline, sidelines, all of it. So me taking a step back is okay because they know the culture of the group and they know that I'm a mom first. They know that. They know, they get the real, you know. They see that I'm busy a lot and that I make time because it's important to me and it's important to my family.
Yeah.
And it wasn't about money at first, but having 3 kids is not cheap.
No.
Having 3 kids in sports and activities is definitely not cheap. So the fact that I can pay for all of that stuff without it affecting anything else
Mhm.
is great and necessary. So
Yeah.
now it's necessary. Now it's absolutely necessary. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, if somebody were to come to you and say, I don't know if I want to keep doing this, or I really love it, but I don't really know how to keep going, or whatever, what would be like the piece of advice that you would give to them or say to them, like to encourage them to not give up? Like, what would you say to kind of help them keep going?
I would just tell them to get out and have some conversations with people. Go to the park, get a couple of your mom friends together and just let it come naturally into conversations more
Okay.
often than you are, because chances are if you're telling me that you're not knowing what to do, then you're not doing the things already.
Mhm.
So talking to people virtually or in person, I don't care. It's post 2020, we do virtual. Just comment on things,
Mhm.
build relationships with people you may have lost contact with. Find new things in common, like in mom groups or something like that. Like somebody posts a question, answer it, give your input, make yourself seen. And then those types of, oh, what do you do for a living, come more naturally. And then you don't have to be the one that says, I'm a Scentsy consultant first, you know, it brings it out naturally, because I'm not good at that. I'm not good at not just walking up like, oh, hey, you know, and starting conversations. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at small talk. I'm not. Like, I do better. Scentsy has definitely made me better about that, but it's still hard for me. So if I can bring out a genuine conversation about something else and then they approach me about it, then perfect, great. I'll talk to you all day. But I'm not good at bringing it up. So I always try to encourage other people to bring it up to me, because that helps.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, find what naturally works, and
right.
What makes you happy, right?
Yeah, find things you enjoy, find groups of people that have similar hobbies,
I put
Yeah.
stickers on it.
and then it's easier to
Yeah.
press
What do
sensation.
you what are some things that you do to kind of keep your customers
Mommy,
engaged?
look, I do everything.
He does all the
Do
things.
everything. I do everything.
Yeah, let's not, okay? Let's not do everything. Okay? That's enough. No more
I
stickers.
can and
All the Merry Christmas stickers.
I
It's fine.
can
Everything's fine.
and
Oh, that's good.
make
So
gingerbread
your question was,
My
what do I do to keep my
question-
customers?
How do you keep your customers engaged and coming back? Okay. Okay, go in the living room for a little bit.
I am
I'm
a
almost done.
follower upper digital. I follow up. I send thank you mail to everybody. And yeah, I just make sure that I'm seen with the people often. That's why I set up gymnastics like once every other month or something, so that even if they've lost my information, they're going to see me there. I do 2 days of the week. I do Wednesday and Thursday. So I'm gathering many people whose kids come, once a week or twice a week. And then I'm leaving my stuff there. So even if they don't see me for a few weeks, they can grab something if they need to.
Mhm.
I slid my foot in the door with a fundraiser with them recently, but I haven't talked to the lady yet. So we'll see how that goes. That should be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just try to keep myself in their faces. And then at like catalog time, I'll go through all the 6 months that we had the catalog, and I'll pick 2 people from each month and I'll send them a new catalog, even if they haven't ordered or something,
Yeah.
with my catalog mail, just to keep myself relevant in
Mhm.
their minds. because
Absolutely.
sometimes all they need is like, oh yeah, I meant to order 2 months ago.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I think sometimes consultants can forget is that, and I say this all the time, that we think about Scentsy all the time because
Mhm.
it's, it's part of our daily life.
Yeah.
But other people don't,
Right.
if you're going to gymnastics 2 days a week and baseball 2 days a week
Mhm.
and church and family and all that, you're not at home thinking about what kind of Scentsy do I need in my life right now. You're thinking about all the daily tasks that you have to do. When you get home, you're thinking about a bath, you're not thinking about all the things. And so it's important that we remind them, oh yeah, I probably should check that. I have customers who I have to text like 4 and 5 times to remind them,
Mhm.
hey, remember you were going to order
Yeah.
and you forgot and you're about to
Yeah.
run out. And if you run out, you're going to be really sad.
Yeah.
So you probably should do that. So, yeah. So I think that is perfect and wonderful.
It's not their
Is there
job.
anything
It's not
else?
their job to remember to buy it. It's my job to sell it to them. So.
Exactly. Is there anything else that you feel like you want to share about your journey, about how Scentsy has blessed you, how it has changed things for you?
I think I am not a salesperson. I've never been in a sales job before. I just literally love the stuff. I love the products. And then when I realized that I loved doing the trainings too, and I loved the interactions on Facebook, and I loved meeting all kinds of awesome people like Sarah Ford, and
It's a harder thing than what we could have.
watching people promote and grow and be equally as excited about me as me about this business was just like, it didn't take long for me to realize that it was way more than I ever expected when I clicked that join button, like way, way more. So the money was never first. It's more important now than it ever has been before, but it's also more than it ever has been before. So it helps. That helps.
Yes. Absolutely.
I got some.
But yeah, it doesn't matter what season of life you're in. If the reason that you want to join is strong, then you will figure out a way, regardless of what's going on in your life. Even if you have 20 minutes a day to work on it, you work it 20 minutes a day, you will be amazed
Yeah.
at what you've accomplished. So.
Okay, can you say to Angela, thank you so much?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for agreeing to do this interview. I'm glad that we
Yes.
finally were able to get you in, sort of,
Yes.
even with the disruptions of a 4-year-old
Yeah.
who has stamp ink all over his leg.
Uh-huh.
Not scared of airplanes.
He did everything.
He does everything.
All
He's
the
literally not scared of airplanes.
I'm not
Okay,
scared of airplanes because
That's great.
I
Okay. Anyways, thank you so much.
Love you.
Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
I love you too. Thank you so much. Thank you for everyone watching. I'm really
Yes.
excited for people to hear from you. And I'm excited to share with your team. That's an experience that I don't normally get to have. So I'm going to share it with your team.
but I get it.
Not yet. Anyways, I got to go to work. So I got to get to work so that I can take him to Disney at some point.
Yes, you get on it. Get on it.
So thank you very, very much.
You're welcome.